Dad is deciding what boards we're taking here in Australia.
Lots of people keep asking, how many boards are you taking? What are you taking?
Who's doing the introduction?
Lexi is, but I'm adding to it.
I mean, they're his surfboard, so you can do.
Shall we have a look at what you've got here?
Yeah. Okay, so this has to come, I think.
Does it though?
Because this is a longboard, and when there's no waves, and it's obviously pretty fun, and everyone can use it. Dirty old single fin that came out of a windsurfer that I chopped down. That's pretty much rusted permanently in place.
That came out of what?
A windsurfer.
Did it?
Yeah. So the fin's not great, but the board's pretty fun. Bought it for Vicky, that's why it's pink. But maybe.
So that's.
Secretly, it might. She thinks I bought it
At
for
the
me.
time, he just wanted to justify spending $1,000 on the board, so he pretended it was for me. So he made it pink. I broke my foot on this surfboard, so I'm not a fan of it.
This one was a gift for my 40th
40th
birthday
birthday
from
from
a
your
bunch of
awesome
mates, shaped by Corey Graham. It is a beautiful board, a bit more foam than what I would normally ride, but I probably need to admit that I'm getting old. Changed it down to these Aquila Iper fins, I think they're called, and it actually goes okay. It actually goes good. I have fun on this board, and I'm slowly admitting to myself that I need to surf something like this to warm up before I try and ride a short board. So this one definitely has to come. This one is a pure gem of a board. Pizel Ghost, 6'4" by something, 18.88. I don't know why they do this. 2.5, 2. Anyway, very good board, but very rarely used. So this is for like double overhead. Very good waves. My concern with not taking this board would be that when we're in the west,
I'm just gonna. Yeah.
we get good waves in the west.
So you're saying right now, very rarely used, but we've been living in the mountain for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Which is not the case
Yeah.
this year. So you
But-
can't really think about how much you've used it in the last, because our
Yeah.
situation has changed a lot.
Yeah, true.
So think
But
about
it's used in big waves, big swell, pumping
So
waves.
when we're in the west, which is not going
When-
to be
if
till
we
the
were
second
like-
half of the year.
I'd probably, yeah.
Think about it though, are you going to be able to ride a big wave without doing your back in again?
I don't know. Maybe.
You know what
Probably
they
not.
say, children speaks the truth. Old man, go back to the purple board. What were you
Well, I
saying?
can ride the purple board in the same waves I can ride this on.
Exactly.
Yeah, so then don't
That'd
take
be
that
like
one.
go warm up on the purple board, and then what are you pointing the camera at, by the way?
You?
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Looks like it's pointing that way.
Oh,
No.
he's such a bossy boot.
You're literally in the middle of the frame.
Right. I don't know. I don't know if I can leave that one behind.
You
Moving
can.
on. This is a 6'4", I believe,
That's my board.
shaped by Brett Menke for Vicky. She can maybe talk about this board.
Well, I have, because we've been living in the mountain. No, so the reason why I got this board was because Simon's very adamant that he wants the kids to learn to surf, and I think the main reason why the kids aren't surfing is because I'm not a fan of surfing either. So that was my, all right, I'm going to learn to surf. So we got our friend Brett
Twin fin.
to shape me a board
And how many
channel.
times have you ridden it, Mum?
once.
Yeah. I've ridden it
But
more
like
than
I
once.
was just saying, we've been living in the mountain this year.
I have ridden this board though, and
Well, when you asked Brett to shape it, I think you had in the back of your mind that Vicky wants a board. She probably is not going to surfing that much, so it needs to be a board that I can ride.
well, this
Correct?
needed to be a board that everyone could
Yeah, yeah.
eventually ride. So I don't know. I guess we're taking this one
100% we're
because
taking
it
that
was
one.
made by one of my very good friends. It was made for my very lovely wife, and it is a bit of an all-rounder. I can use it from 1 foot to probably double overhead, sort of.
No, we're taking
solid
it.
6 foot.
Not even
So
a question.
This one, I haven't surfed in years. I got this for my 30th birthday.
Single fin.
It's a Gash 6'2" Duke single fin.
With the crown.
Um,
Duke.
amazing, amazing board. Best single fin I've ever ridden, actually. And I've ridden it from 2 foot to... I actually had the best barrel I've ever had at Winky Pop on this board. Like a proper long drainer, bent, couldn't see the
How old
opening.
were you back then?
Well, I was over 30, so it was sometime in the last 10 years, probably the year or 2 years after I had this. Taking this board to the Mentawais, it actually went. Single fins very rarely go fun on your backhand, but this kind of does it all.
That's the board you took to Indo after you did your shoulder.
Yeah, yeah.
That was your recovery board. Oh, I don't think you've culled any yet, have you?
No. Look, there's a chance I'd take this and not use it, is all.
So that's why I don't
But the
take
thing
it.
is, if everyone starts surfing, especially Maddox and Lexi, and they want to become good, stylish surfers that draw long, correct lines, transitioning onto a board like this is pretty key. Look, this one I can probably get rid of, maybe.
You haven't ridden it in years.
6.0 Merrick. I think that was the model M4. Actually, I don't even have fins for this board, so it doesn't need to come. So no fins for this board. The reason I've held onto this board for so long is it's just a good all-rounder.
The ski pads just don't breathe.
Yeah, I think it'll go back in the shed and be pulled out at some point. Actually, same reason I wanted to keep this is because when you kids learn to surf, this board will really help teach you to, you know, draw proper lines, surf with a bit of style. You won't be able to flick it and throw it around. You'll have to use its rails and its curves. But maybe, well, I don't have fins for it, so I guess we can cull that one.
Alright.
First board to be
That's one.
announced not taken.
The other reason I've always held on to that is because if I ever snapped my main performance board, that'd be something I could just go to while I was waiting on a new one. Which brings us to this, which is my standard short board. Al Merrick 510, 18/7/8, 2 1/4 for Simon. It's got my name on it.
Oh.
Because everyone can get their name on boards now. You don't even need to be.
Sponsored.
It doesn't say Growler?
No, it doesn't. Not much to talk about really. It's just a good all-round performance board. Rounded pin, thruster setup, goes good. It's not magic. It's just it's a good go-to, reliable, all-round performance shortboard. This board is a brand newie.
The newest of the
The
lot.
newest of the lot. So it's actually based off, if
The
you look on
Paizel.
here, you can see all these measurement points that were recently taken to build a file of that board. So that's the 6.4 Paizel, and this is the ripped off, copied 6.4 Paizel, shrunk down to a 5.9 and made into a twin fin, which is a concept I had after riding that as a quad, and it goes amazing as a quad. I thought I'd love to try that as a twin. So a good mate of mine has sort of started shaping surfboards under his little brand called Ulysses Surfboards. Good luck trying to find one. So this guy's actually a mechanical engineer by trade, and he got brought into this factory here called Joy Mill, which is owned by another friend of mine based out of Torquay. And Boots, who owns Joy Mill, bought a shaping machine, and he got Lee in, my mate who's an engineer, to recalibrate the machine after he'd been operating it for a while and his cuts weren't as clean as he'd hoped they'd be. So Lee went in, recalibrated the machine, and to do so he had to cut a bunch of boards. And being a lifelong surfer himself, he kind of got stuck there and just sort of keeps making his own boards. And then now he started making a few for friends. And this is the first one that I managed to talk him into doing for me. And it's magic. It works exactly how I wanted it to in my head. So it's my normal sort of short boardy size. The Paizel Ghosts put more foam up under your chest for paddle power, but they're really pulled in the tail, so you can still surf them like a short board. by making it a twin, I was hoping that it'd have tons of drive, but then still that, you know, flicky release that you get from a twin fin. And with the right fin in it, that's exactly what has happened. So probably I've only surfed it a handful of times, but as far as getting a new shortboard, it's the best one I've stood on in a lot of years. So, you know, this one, it's a bit different being a twin. Really, this one backs this one up. So if I was to break this, or if I did find that in, you know, 4 to 6 foot pumping waves, the twin fin was letting go too much, then, you know, go back to trusty old thruster. Both of those have to come. There's no doubt about that. This one, Lost Grinder model, the Grinder, designed for people grinding it out on the WQS. So a performance board for small waves, and I've found this board to be absolute magic from knee high to shoulder high. Surfed it in head high waves and it's still fun, but I think just because I'm used to riding, I love a rounded pin and a pulled in tail. When you get a bit more water moving, I have issues with floating on top. I like to be on a rail all the time. That's probably just because I'm old rail surfer, but I don't know what to do with this one. I don't want to leave it behind, but the problem is 9 times out of 10 when I would ride that, I'm going to pick this one up and ride this because it's very much designed for the same sort of waves. Corey Graham, twin fin, twin channel, 5.5, 19.5. This one has Greylow on it. You'll be happy about that.
My Greylow!
Corey Graham made me surfboards on and off since I was a grommet, I think. I can't remember the first time I had one off him. I know when I went travelling and met my lovely wife, I had a surfboard bag full of Corey boards.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, he sort of looked after me for a period there.
He still does.
And
That
he still
board is-
sort of does.
yeah.
He still gives me a little hookup.
Comes from out of the same factory as Giddo's
Same
board.
factory, Joy Mill. So Corey shapes out of there.
Same with the purple one. That
Same
one's
with the
got
purple one. Yeah, that was a Corey as well. I can't leave this board behind.
No.
It's coming.
Yeah.
So,
So we've
So we've lost.
so you said 9 times out of 10 you'd pick
this one
that
over
the yellow one
grinder.
over the Lost.
Yeah.
So probably leave the Lost behind then.
Grinder might
But the
exist.
one time that I do ride this, it'll probably be the funnest surf I've had in 6 months.
God.
This is like, so you got to nurse a twin fin where you can push a thruster to a certain extent. This is like fun and cruisy, and I can do nice performance turns on it. Whereas when I go out on this board, I feel like I'm 15 years younger than I actually am, and I feel like I'm ripping again.
So if it's a feeling you have once in 6 months, probably worthwhile.
It's well worth it, I think. So if I ride that twice this year, the thing is, when I start riding that board, when I put fins in it, I probably pick it over all of them. When when it's this big to this big, it works. And generally that's what happens, whatever board I put fins in. So I've started actually, I've got a habit now, when I finish my surf, I take my fins out. Because otherwise when I get up to go surfing next, I just go, oh, that board's got fins in it,
It's
and
like the
I take it.
snowboarding and bindings. If you
Yeah.
don't have bindings on your board,
You're more inclined to take the board
you
with
just pick
bindings
the
on
one
it.
that has
Yeah.
bindings on it.
So we haven't
we've
achieved
got-
much, and then we've got
the
got
fun
this.
machine.
which was purchased for little Miss Lexi for Christmas.
It wasn't purchased. Wasn't that a Santa present?
No, it was a Santa present.
Did this come from Santa?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I didn't buy it, did you?
I don't know. You buy everything.
No, it was a Santa present.
Okay. Well, Santa delivered this in the mail. Not this Christmas. It was
No,
the
it
Christmas
was
before.
Christmas before. No.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
yeah.
So my concern with this is, it was bought for Lexi to learn to surf on over
I
a year
haven't-
ago, a year and a
she's grown
half,
ahead
and she's
since-
now grown a lot.
Maybe we need to
So-
get a bigger one.
I mean, it's got plenty of buoyancy.
We could leave this one for Zoe and get a bigger one.
We could potentially get a bigger one, but we also have plenty of bigger fiberglass boards that she could learn on. And the problem is she took this out once and refused to try and stand up on it and just rode it like a boogie board.
Yeah,
So it's
can't-
quite heavy.
You can't go back to what should people like. You can't just hang on to what's happened in the past. We're looking in the future, and we're going. And she's going to surf, and you just need to let go of the moment.
So I think, like it's definitely. Like, I can surf this thing, and it floats me no problem paddle wise. I think it's probably still got enough buoyancy to float her.
Definitely. If it floats you, Lexi's not heavier than you.
No,
That would just be.
no, but Dad's better at paddling too.
Yeah.
Cool,
Yeah, true enough.
all of that.
It's not going to be like riding a longboard where you can just do 3 strokes with your wrists. You'll actually have to paddle.
Yeah.
And it should be wide enough. But I mean, going up, because it is only the short model, I think it goes up to a 6 foot after this.
We don't really want 6 foot's too big though. After this, the next one over.
Next one up 6 foot, so it goes from 5'6" to 6 foot, which is only it's only 6 inches.
The camera's about to die, so speed it up.
No, I know that, but the thing is that 6 foot's harder for her to maneuver around. She can take that on her arm and go. She can't with a 6 foot board. So this one is coming.
So anyway,
But then we had one
So
more.
we've gotten rid of one board that's staying here.
so how many boards do
all
you need
that.
to go around Australia? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, and I've got one more on the Gold Coast sitting with my mate Lincoln Ether, which is pretty much one of these. It's not a Merrick. It's a Roddy.
It's the
What's
board you really needed to get.
Roddy? JR, who shapes on the Gold Coast, and he's Watto, one of my best friends, best mates, and for my 40th as well, I ordered one off JR, and he shaped it in like, I want to say under a week, and spat out a board for me. Because I took this with me, but the swell forecast was that we'd get pumping sand bottom points, so I was concerned I'd snap this. So anyway, I've got a JR sitting in Queensland that I left there with the intentions of being able to just get on a plane, fly up, Lincoln can pick me up and I can surf, but
Without taking a surfboard.
without
down.
taking a
With
surfboard.
a carry on only.
Carry on only, but I haven't done it yet, and I'm now 41, so it's been over a year.
Well, we've had COVID things.
So I could leave this behind and pick the JR up on the way, actually.
That's probably a good idea. Because we're going to go through the gut and then go across back to Brisbane and then...
Because I probably don't, you know, now I've got that one, I don't need,
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Simo. Leave that one there, Merrick behind, we'll pick up the one.
could leave the Merrick. It's
So
a
that's
good board
me,
though.
as a family of 4, we need 9 board, that's not too bad.
Yeah, and we got to get some boogie boards, I think.
Are we?
We got surf mats.
Do we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
the
we do.
river mats.
Yeah. No, they're actually surfboards. They're like
So, Maddox is shaking his head. Too many surfboards?
Yeah.
But I just explained why I need them all.
Yeah,
Can
I
you
know, but
explain
still.
any
I don't
way?
think it was explained, I think it was like
Justified.
justification.
Can you explain any way?
You
Like, I
haven't
could
surfed.
maybe
You haven't surfed the green one in like 5 years.
Yeah.
I could maybe leave it behind. But like I said, if you guys learn to surf, this is probably, you'll go, in my head, you kids will go from this, twin fin, to single fin, and then I'll let you go on a thruster, probably that one. So that's the
But
progression.
Maddox at the moment,
Has a stuffed thumb.
So
So
he's not surfing. He's got 12 weeks in a cast. So Lexi might have learnt to surf by the time you get out of your cast.
Alright. Good stuff.
So anyway, I think that's how many boards we're taking. It's just going to be a logistical bit of tie-down nightmare.
anyway, I think we've proven that you're crazy.
Follow us a-crockin' as we go around doors. For people in a camper with a Mexican dog. Mama in the men's with a smile on her face. Papa in the ocean trying to find his face.
We're off to see Australia where the greylings of Oz. We're off to see Australia where the greylings of Oz.
Follow us a-crockin' as we go around doors. For people in a camper with a Mexican dog. Daughter always dancing and singing a song. Son is always working and he's tagging along.
We're off to see Australia where the graylings of Oz. We're off to see Australia where the graylings of Oz. We're off to see Australia where the graylings of Oz. We're off to see Australia where the graylings of Oz.